Hey guys, so about this Webbot 7th of January, right? I think it's pretty clear that the event was the congresswoman and the federal judge being shot and killed. I think it was somewhere around 6 other people, or maybe 6 total people have died from that one incident. George, your Cliff High's friend, seems to say that's what it was. The data supports that or whatever. I'm listening to the news today, also reading some stuff, and I see a pretty high level aide to the White House actually it was an aide from Congress to the White House or something. His wife was found dead in their car, burning in their garage, and apparently the car broke through the garage at around 4 or something in the morning from the outside to the inside, I believe, and was set on fire. She's dead. And interesting is that she was a lobbyist for Progress Energy, and they are merging, or on the brink of merging, with Duke Energy. I would imagine she probably was fixing to get paid a little bit, but she was actually working for Progress Energy at the time. So isn't it interesting how you have these politicians and their aides and all these people who are in politics to start with, getting a good salary, for Christ's sakes, only to basically make sweet deals with everybody. Go work for Progress Energy, go work for a health company, go work for this guy, go work for that guy. Look where Jeb Bush, the Bush family, bozos, who was governor of Florida, as soon as he left governor's office, he went straight into some kind of big high-level status in a healthcare organization, sitting on the board, getting paid probably a lot more than he was even as governor. But I'm sure as governor, he probably made sweetheart deals for those health insurance companies anyway. So of course, payback is when he leaves office, they got a job waiting for him. Same thing applies everywhere. Every high-level CIA, head of CIA especially, when they retire, they go to work at a major international bank. Go look that up. Go see who sits on the board of some of these big banks. You will find out that CIA happens to be at the head of these banks. Sometimes president or major sitting board member. Anyways, today's the 10th. And again, the Webbot hot date was the 7th, plus or minus, he said 3 to 5 days. But I mean, usually it's 3 days. Today is the 3rd day, plus or minus. So we have another political figure, high-level aide to the White House, his wife, found dead, burning in her car. Clearly, she probably wasn't committing suicide, because people like that have got it made. They've got plenty of money. Their houses are probably paid for. They don't live like you and I. They don't struggle like you and I, because like I said, they were working in the White House, working on Congress, doing whatever, as an aide, whatever, up in the political scene, and then they leave and they go get a job that's waiting for them with a high salary because they made favors happen, took place, etc., during their positions. So am I upset, again, that this person died? No, I'm not. I am saddened that she did have very young children. She had 2 twin boys and I think an 18-month-old girl. That, as a parent, I have 2 twin girls, and I have a 2-year-old daughter also. My twins are 5, or fixing to be 5 next month. And, as a human being to another human being, yeah, it's sad, it hurts. But when you see all this corruption going on, and it's just another story of another political figure, dying or whatever, and that people, in other words, whatever people are getting charged for electricity right now, right? Progress Energy or whoever else. Whatever they're getting charged, there's actually not even a need for it. It doesn't have to be that high. The prices don't have to be where they are today, which they're not necessarily outrageous, but they still don't have to be where they are. But when you are a person with power, and you make all these sweetheart deals happen, and all these people get these big fat salaries, for example, let me stop there for a second and elaborate a little bit. Progress Energy, or was it Progressive Energy, here in Florida, might be Progress, I think it's the same company. Progress Energy, Florida. I happen to have TECO, Tampa Electric Company, that's who I use, but some areas have Progress Energy. And it wasn't very long ago, maybe a year ago, where I read in a local paper, or even saw possibly on the news, I don't remember, maybe it was on the radio news, whatever, that they wanted to raise a rate somewhere around like 20%. They were trying to get approval from, I don't know if it was the state of Florida or some county commission around here. I don't remember because it was a while ago. Wasn't really affecting me that much anyways, right? So, you know, like most sheep, American, I should just say, well, why should I care? I don't have Progressive. I don't care. Or Progress Energy. I have Tico, so who cares? You know, that's the attitude most people have. Dr. Doom does care. So that's why I remember this story. But think about that. 20%. Maybe it's 15 or 20. I don't remember. It was over a year ago. But if it's 20%, just out of nowhere, well, we think we need to raise it. So we're going to go pound on these commissioners over here and see if we can get them to approve it. Thank God it was denied. But if that old girl who died in the fire had anything to do with it, oh, I bet she could have got some strings pulled. I bet you and I, or whoever had Progress Energy, would be paying that 20% more right now just when we don't need it and can't afford it. Thank God it didn't pass. I guess they need to work harder on their aides and former political figures to try to get things done around here in Florida. It didn't work out for them. So when I hear about stories like this, again, I really don't care that another high-level political figure in one way, shape, form, or another got killed and was clearly murdered by somebody. As the webbot said, you're going to start seeing this happening more and more frequently, and now it's happening. And sure enough, on the 7th, on or about the 7th, plus or minus 3 days, right? Here we are on the 10th day, another political figure has died. I believe she was 37 years old. So we got the congresswoman shot in the head. She may not make it. She's still in critical condition. The high-level federal judge, he's dead. Several other people, same incident at the rally, dead also. And now today we've got this lady on fire, burned in her own garage, knowing darn well she didn't do it to herself. It's not a suicide. The interesting thing is who would target her for whatever reason? Was someone pissed off because she got a deal? You know, she's going to be part of the merger and she's going to make out like a bandit. And now someone else is pissed off because they weren't able to pull the strings and she was. I don't know. You know, I really don't know what's been going on. Maybe she pulled some strings over there and made them raise the electrical rates in her area and she had something to do with it. And some innocent person just, again, Gerald Celente, lost it because they have nothing else to lose right now and decided to set her car on fire and kill her as some kind of payback. I have no idea. I haven't researched into why she could have potentially got killed, or, you know, was she doing some deals recently that someone else is upset about? Did she rape and pillage the American people somehow by raising rates in the area? I don't know. But if you want to do a little legwork, by all means, do it. And if you find anything interesting about that, go ahead and give me a call, or not necessarily a call. Give me a shout out on YouTube, and let's see where this goes. Not that it really matters too much, because the bottom line is stuff is happening. Webbot is saying to look out on certain dates, and sure enough, things are definitely abnormal. It's not every day that aide's whatever wife's car gets set on fire and she dies. It's not every day that you hear a congresswoman or man getting shot in the head. It's also not every day that you hear federal court judges getting shot and killed in the same incident that killed the other person, the congresswoman. So, you know, again, people dismiss the webbot as complete fiction and nonsense. Man, I'm sorry. I'm still paying attention. I don't care. You know, and again, the 7th was the hot date. On the 8th, I believe, was when the congresswoman and the judge got shot. And then today, which is the 10th, 3 days later, after the promised date of the webbot, we have another high-level incident that is abnormal, not something you would expect. So we have those things combined to say, yeah, you know what, things are definitely heading down webbot land where it said it's going. You know, when you look at all this stuff, a lot of us expect something even huger than that. Like, oh, that's all, just a congressperson got shot, that's nothing. You know, it's like we're expecting the war with Iran to get started on the 7th and, you know, all hell to break loose and nuclear weapons to fly. That would fit our mind's eye of what should happen on the 7th of Webbot Day. You know, I guess we're just expecting major doom. The Webbot's not necessarily promising major doom, at least not yet, or not at all at the same time, you know, bits and pieces possibly. You know, the other interesting piece of news that was around the same time frame is Timothy Geithner, Treasury Secretary, saying to Congress in a letter, we need you to raise the debt ceiling. If you don't raise the debt ceiling, the United States will default on its debt. That was his words. That's huge. That's a massive event in itself. If nothing else happened, no people got shot, no lady's car on fire. If none of that happened, just what Timothy Geithner said is hugely disturbing. So chances are they're going to raise the debt ceiling and just do what other countries prior to us did, what they all do. They fought on the same path and they end the same way. Again, it's just a historical cycle that happens again and again, ends the same way again and again. The only thing that changes is technology. If this was 200 years ago, I would be Dr. Doom writing in a local newspaper to, 5 people subscribing to my newspaper in some town in the middle of nowhere. But because this is the modern day technology that we're in, I can talk on YouTube and write stuff online and have potentially millions of people view it. Of course, there's not. There's only thousands of people viewing it, at best. Not that it matters, but I'm just trying to do my part in waking people up. And that's about it. So, I will talk to y'all later.